Hello, I'm Samantha, and today I'm going to be overviewing semantics and what they specifically mean to me. So, semantics are defined as the study of meaning concerning the relationship between language and meaning. It's not the meaning of words, but the actual relationship between language and its form and the meaning constructed from that language. With this being said, everyone's semantics will be different based on how the language comes across to them. Each individual will create their own connection based on a word, sign, symbol, or idea. Semantics can be impacted by somebody's personal experiences, their beliefs or views, or their prior comprehensions to similar language. Figurative and literal language affect semantics and semantic issues as well. If we're talking literal, I believe that most people will form the same meanings from the language, but when language is figurative, this is where I personally see a range of semantics and meanings being formed. We also know that semantic issues can arise when there's a difference in background, education, or culture. This is happening every day around us with the coronavirus pandemic. For example, the media is giving us information in the means of language every day. Here, semantics is happening, and depending on what the individual believes, maybe what political party they support, or who is saying the language, their semantics will differ. I think that many messages from certain authorities, such as the president or certain media coverage sites, are received differently than they might be intended to. President Trump, for example, recently made a statement regarding the improvement of the virus spread by saying the U.S. has passed the peak and predicted that some states would be opening soon this month. Many people reacted negatively to this statement and constructed a meaning completely different than I think that he interpreted this. Many people formed a meaning that the president was naive, misleading, or uncaring by saying this. Others might conclude that he's basing his statement off facts and that it was true. I feel that the semantics for this particular sentence would differ, maybe depending on who said it. For example, I think that the people's prior feelings on the president as a person might have impacted their meaning. I believe semantic issues would have been different if someone else would have said these exact same statements, such as famous Dr. Fauci or even former President Barack Obama, both of which side with the Democratic Party. Another example of how President Trump's language forms different meanings with different people is his response to a particular statement in one of his daily press releases regarding the virus. Recorded in an article on the Washington Post, he was asked in a news briefing what authority he has to reopen the country. He answered without hesitation, quote, "I have the ultimate authority." He later added, "When someone is the President of the United States, the authority is total, and that's the way it has to be." The Washington Post recorded this statement from what he said, and some people might think this is true and literal, as that's the role of the president in our country. Other people might interpret the meaning differently, saying that it's overpowering or unconstitutional. I personally do not believe he meant for it to sound that way, and he was just responding to the question. But this is where semantic issues can arise depending on what you're basing your meaning off of. Are you basing the meaning off of the actual words? Maybe what you already decided you feel about President Trump or the situation. On the same token, this reminded me of figurative language, which was the tab about semantic issues that was in our course. Or filtering language. This is where I think the media can pick and choose what information to include in their message. This can give us a certain angle of vision controlled by the media, where we are only given filtered language and we are given the opportunity to construct meaning only on certain pieces of language. With this comes selective reception in regards to semantics based on what information we want to believe or receive. I think this also causes semantic issues if we are not given the full truth. Also, if we can decide what we hear and what we do not hear. These are all issues and concepts very relevant to our world today as we work through this global crisis. I think semantic issues will always be a huge part of the public, the politics, and the media. Thank you.